Hi folks, welcome back to Building Materials 2. This is week 7 and we're going to talk about ceramics 2, which is clay bricks. First of all, there is a little introduction about what is bricks and clay bricks, and we're going to talk about the manufacturing process of bricks and of course its properties. After that, there is going to be a brief about the requirements in assessment item 2, especially assignment 2B, and of course we're going to organize a review of assignment 1A to see what can you improve in your submission, and that will enable you to get a reasonable high mark. A little review. What is ceramics? Ceramics are all products that are produced based on different kinds of clays. And as I mentioned earlier in last topic, there are two kinds of ceramics, which is unglazed and glazed. The difference is between unglazed and glazed are their production process. While in unglazed products there are usually one process, while in glazed products there are three. One of the most frequently used materials type of clays are bricks. And basically we can see it everywhere, such as the world's highest brick tower of St. Martin's Church in Germany. This is a picture here. And or even on the road, brick road, or the brick house. Some of the houses are brick type, and some of the others are concrete and timber, but brick house is very common, especially in Australia, in central Queensland. And the bricks can be made of a wide range of clays and shells. And there are two ingredients in the bricks you should remember. One of them is iron oxide. The iron oxide is related to the color of the bricks. The more iron oxide the bricks have, its color will change to more pink and red. Of course, there are another, which is manganese dioxide, and if the bricks have more manganese dioxide, the color will change to more gray and brown. This is related to the workbook or the assignment 2B you're going to discuss in your submission. The manufacturing process of bricks contains 3 steps. The first is winding the clay and preparing it. That means you should excavate the materials and screen it into different particular size. And the second step is shaping the products, which means you're going to shape the clay into different kinds of shapes. Some of them are rectangular. And the third step is to drying and firing the shape you're going to produce, and in order to dry out the water contained in the clay. The properties of bricks you should know is strength, absorption, and insulation. The compressive strength of building bricks in Australia varies from about 20 MPa to 80 MPa, and there are the absorption, which is the ability of the bricks to absorb water, and of course there are insulation. The insulation of sound of bricks depends on the bricks we're going to use and how thick the wall is. And the insulation of fire of brick in general, it is very good, it's okay. The workbook of this week is a alternative to clay bricks you're going to discuss. One of these is made by NBK ceramic, and another is Terracade. And you're going to investigate how one of these systems works. Just choose one and briefly describe its advantage, and including one fixing detail, probably using an image, but make sure to cite the image well. The second assignment for this course is about innovative use of clay products. I've highlighted the area you should focus in the assignment overview. The focus of the assignment should be on clay tile use in the construction of vaults or domes, and other type of use is not acceptable. And I've listed 3 articles in the Moodle site. In the general forum, there is this topic, and I've listed these 3 articles about the construction of vaults and domes. And please have a look. You can choose one of these, and you can choose your own project, but it should be a relatively new building and must be a significant example. It can't be a common house. Well, if it is a house, it must be like introduce a new concept to the area, to the community. Well, you will need at least 1 photo of the building, and please make sure you do not insert too many photos. And the areas you should mention is number 1, the source and the production of the tiles, and number 2, how the tile color is obtained, and number 3, the design of the architecture, and number 4, how these dome vaults were constructed, which is the construction methods, and number 5, include at least 1 draw detail section through the brick feature. And this is actually the headings of or subheadings of your essay, such as you can use the source as a heading, and the following paragraph is going to talk about the source and production of the tiles, and all the others you can list them as headings. And but all of these areas should be mentioned, and if it is not, there will be a deduction in the score. Some students ask, what should I do in the cover, and what should I include in the cover for good submission? Here are a few good examples. These 3 is some of the good examples from the student submission. As you can see, it has the code and course title and assignment number and due date, weighting, lecturer. I'm not asking that it should be a fancy cover, but some students do come with a fancy cover. I mean, it is okay, and in the future when you are doing professional job, you may have to come up with a fancy cover. So you can start, trying to do so now, and I will provide you as many, suggestions as I can. And here are some bad examples, such as this student, he just put the cover with the main context. So this is not a good example. And here this one, and he only listed a text box and input the building code, the assignment number, and due date. And this is not very professional looking, and it does not impress the reader at all. So I'm not saying that the cover is all I look in the submission, but it is a very important aspect you should consider. And of course, there are content and structure, and some students wondering how what's wrong with my table of contents and what's wrong with my structure. And here I'll show you how you can do about your table of content. You open a Word document, and now I think you can see. And here are the titles and the headings and subheadings, such as introduction. Here is an example you can use in your assignment 2A submission, such as it include an introduction. So you can talk about the case, what your case is about, why it is important in the introduction section. And if you see the requirements of the assignment 2A, there are several points you should address, such as source and production, tile color, the design of architecture, construction method, and section. And of course, after that is conclusions and references. So you can actually, name this as heading 1, and all this as heading 1, And before that, you go to References and Table of Content. Choose one style, and here you go. It comes with a very good table of content. Here comes with a not very good example about the content structure of the essay. The students basically introduced all of the assignment in one page, and it comes with all the pieces of information, and I find it really hard to follow. There's no headings, no subheadings, and no bullet point to lead me to the information flow of the essay. So it's very congested and it's not a very good structure.